when Absalom got to Hebron, don't forget, he told his father that he was going to Hebron to make a sacrifice, because when he fled from his father, he told God, he made a vow to God that if you are able to bring me back home, I will make a sacrifice unto you. So we are meant to understand that when Absalom got to Hebron, he was able to lure 200 men who went to him secretly. And these men went with Absalom without the knowledge of his father, King David. David was still on the throne. David was still the king in the land of Judah, in the land of Israel. But Absalom was able to lure 200 men to his side, and they went to Hebron. And this happened at the blind side of his father David. Now, what you need to understand tonight, beloved in the Lord, is that Absalom was able to steal the hearts of these men. And so they were bent on doing anything for him. We have already established the fact that the spirit of Absalom operates in such a way that it will steal your heart. Your heart might not be for him, but the spirit of Absalom is having all that it takes to cause men so that their hearts will be stolen away from them. And when their hearts are stolen away from them, they are able to do things for the one who has been able to steal their hearts. So he lured 200 men to himself, and he was able to do it by virtue of stealing the hearts of these men. These men were bent on doing anything for this gentleman by name Absalom. Now, the other thing he did was to get access to a man whom the Bible considers as wise by name Ahithophel. Now, you've got to understand that this gentleman was on a mission. Absalom was on a mission. He was on a mission. And then he was able to get access to a man who was considered to be a wise man in those days by name Ahithophel. And the question that comes to mind is that, what does he need from this gentleman by name Ahithophel? He needed something badly from him, which is why he was able to get access to this man. You see, in life, if a person is able to get access to men of honor and men of dignity, that person can go far. And so if a person plots an evil thing, and that person is able to get an access to somebody who will be beneficial, somebody who will be of much importance to the person's agenda, then you are rest assured that whatever the person hopes to achieve, he will be able to achieve. The Bible says Absalom was able to get access to a man by name Ahithophel, and this was a man the Bible considers a wise man. Now watch this, child of God. It is said of this man that he was one of the most trusted counselors of King David. He was one of the most trusted counselors, one of the most trusted advisors of King David. And so if Absalom happens to be on a mission against his father David, then what you need to understand is that when he is able to get access to this man by name Ahithophel, then he will be able to succeed in whatever tactics that he has under his sleeves. It is said that this gentleman by name Ahithophel was one of the most trusted counselors and then one of the most trusted advisors of King David. Beloved in the Lord, that stands to reason that he was a man who was very dear to the heart of David. He was a man who was very closer to David. He was a man who knew the inside and the outside of King David. He was a man who knew everything that concerns King David. He was a man who even knew the strategies that David used as far as being on the throne is all was concerned, because he was a trusted advisor of King David. Beloved in the Lord. And so his defection was a severe blow to David. It is said that in the olden days, if you go to Ahithophel for counsel, it was just like appearing in the presence of God for a solution. If you go to Ahithophel for counsel, it is equated to the fact that a person has appeared in the presence of the creator of the heavens and the earth for a solution. Wow. This means this man was a very serious man. This means that this man was a man that nobody could have joked with. This means this man was a man of substance. This means of a truth. He was a man of wisdom. If you go to him for counsel, and it is like going to the presence of God for a solution, then it means he wasn't just an ordinary man. No wonder he was one of the trusted counselors and one of the trusted advisors of King David, who happens to be the greatest of all the kings who ascended the throne in the land of Israel. Beloved in the Lord, this man was a counselor to David. And so getting him meant he was going to reveal everything that Ahithophel knew about David to Absalom. I am taking my time to lay some foundations. If this gentleman was very closer to King David, then in the mindset of Absalom, if he is able to win this man to himself, then he will get to know all the weaknesses of his father David the king. How will he be able to know? He will be able to know because a man by name Ahithophel, who happens to be closer to King David, will reveal everything that he requires to know about his father the king. But precious one, the question that everybody would want to ask is that, how then was Absalom able to get this gentleman by name Ahithophel to himself? How was he able to get all these men, 200 men, to himself? But the answer is very simple. Beloved in the Lord, the answer is simple because Absalom was able to seduce all the men who came to him. But listen to me, child of God. Though Ahithophel defected to Absalom and betrayed the king by name David, this child of David by name Absalom secretly went to another counselor of David, another advisor of David by name Hushai. And so he was able to lure Hushai also to himself. But there was a difference between Hushai and then Ahithophel. Ahithophel became loyal to Absalom, but Hushai was playing it safe with Absalom. He was playing it safe with Absalom because he was not ready to let Absalom get to know about all the weaknesses of King David. He was still loyal to King David, but he did it in a secret manner. No wonder we are made to understand that in this life, your secret is your power. The essence of Absalom trying to get access to Ahithophel was to know the secret of his father. He happened to be a son of David, but he didn't know the secret of David. But because Ahithophel was one of the most trusted advisors of David, he knew the inside and the outside of the kingdom in which David was a king. But precious one, when he was able to get Hushai, Hushai played a very major role which saved this man by name David. How did he play the role? Hushai was able to cause Absalom to oppose every advice that Ahithophel gave him. And so if Ahithophel tells Absalom, let's go by it in the right direction, by taking the right hand, Hushai will tell Absalom, no, if you take the right, you will be defeated. So let's take the left. That is how come he was able to oppose Ahithophel's counsel that he made towards Absalom, the son of David.